such an asshole.
All right, continuing on here with Asshole Consulting. We got a request from a previous client. This is the guy who came from the Middle East and went to Canada, majored in 2 hard STEM fields, and realized that Canada fucking sucks. Not just because it's Canada. And I'm not into the whole Trump tariff debate, Canada. I like, Saskatchewan people and Alberta. And I like conservative Canadians. But no, Canada sucks. Your country sucks. You'll agree. Socialist countries suck. And then, just like Minnesota, you got cold as tits weather. It's like the fat chick at a party who thinks she's hot. Like, there's no redeeming qualities at all. At all. And so this poor guy comes from a hot, warm place in the Middle East, and he goes to Canada. He's like, it's cold. Like, yeah. I'm aware cold is not good for your mental health. So he's now back in Europe doing some other education. He says, hi, Aaron, I'd like to request another video on a topic closely related to my previous one. Let me know how much you charge for it. This time, I'd like you to compare universities in North America, United States, and Canada with those in Europe, highlighting key differences that I believe would be valuable for high school graduates, especially those in the U.S. who are considering their options. One of the biggest contrasts is cost. Tuition in North America is extremely high, while many top-ranked universities such as ETH Zurich, Sorbonne, I don't know, probably French, Technical University of Munich, and the University of Helsinki charge little to no tuition. For example, the Technical University of Munich only costs around 80 euros per semester. Another major difference is the time it takes to complete the degree. In North America, a bachelor's degree takes at least 4 years to complete, and many students take 5 to 6. In Europe, a bachelor degree is only 3 years. I'm with you 100% on your thesis. You're right. The European colleges are cheaper. I would say as American education, colleges and universities become more and more degraded, the reputations become increasingly tarnished, and in college in general in the U.S., employers start to realize just what kind of a joke it really is. The distinction between a European degree and a U.S. degree will dwindle, but the 3 year is the same thing in Australia. It is, you have to make sure, at least in the United States, because your target audience here is Americans, like, hey, why don't you go to Europe? You have to make sure that if you go to Europe and you get a degree over there, that it is recognized here in the United States. And that's going to be university dependent. One of the things, though, is like, oh, yeah, it's a 3-year degree. Therefore, a lot of times it is not recognized as equivalent in the United States. It can be, it depends. Again, do your research. That's a minor asterisk I want to put there so people just don't go overseas to Europe. They get a 3-year degree, find out it doesn't carry the weight as a 4-year degree. But I think college degrees in general are kind of going away. And if you were to get a highly ranked European degree, let's say chemical engineering or whatever, and you came back to the United States, that would carry some merit to it. But then would you be able to sit for your professional engineer's license? So, yeah, in general, certainly like the liberal arts or whatever, any kind of like non-STEM, non-scientific degree, maybe even accounting. Okay, yeah, go over there. It's way cheaper. But when you start getting into medical school, engineering, things that need license, people in the United States have to be very careful and make sure that they are getting an accredited degree that will carry forward and allow them to be employed in the United States. But you're not wrong. You're 100% right. Compared to like 4 years and whatever, 80 grand, 100 grand in the United States versus basically free. Yeah, you're right. And then I'd say internationally speaking, it depends on the country that you'd go back home and work. But I'd imagine your home country doesn't give a shit, right? You got a Western degree. If it's from Europe or the United States, what do they care? So for the rest of the world, I don't think it really matters. But for the United States, college, employers, oh my God, oh, do you have an accredited degree? You're not even a human if you don't have an accredited degree. But for liberal arts and social science, maybe go to fuck overseas. Absolutely. Look, if you want the college experience and you don't give a shit about employment, that's why you're in the liberal arts or the social sciences. Yeah, I'd go to Europe, right? Isn't that more cool? Like you're overseas, you get to experience different cultures. Why not? That's a better college experience. Okay, yeah, we went to what Ohio State. Yay, it's cloudy and snowy again. Oh, look, tornadoes. Oh, frumpy people. Oh, yay. Ohio, yay. And I get to pay local income taxes. Well, shucks howdy. Let me get some hot Cleveland ass. Uh, uh, Europe bachelor's degree is only 3 years. Master's degree in the US usually take 2 years, but many students finish in 3 or 4, while in the UK and most of Europe, a full-time master's degree is only 1 year. PhD programs in the US are the worst in terms of time, often taking 5 to 7 years, while in the UK and Europe, PhDs take around 4 years, with some students finishing in 3.5 years. The curriculum structure is another major distraction. In North America, universities force students to take general education courses such as arts or English electives. Right. We got to employ our worthless, lazy, leftist academics who would never find jobs in the real world. That's why you have to pay sociology majors or art majors, like, as TAs with their master's degrees to teach you about shit you're never going to use. It's a welfare job. You're 100% right. The audience, I would say, is more for people like you who are not Americans, and they got a choice. You can either go to America or Canada, or you could go to Europe. And I would absolutely, absolutely go to Europe before I go to the United States if I was not an American citizen. And in America, if you are an American citizen, yes, you could go over to Europe, but it may not be as recognized in the United States. But thankfully, here in the United States, we have ways around it where you can go to community college, you could go to Western Governors University online, you go to these schools that are accredited and online, a lot cheaper, a lot quicker. So we're slowly adapting over here. But yes, globally, unless there was some very specific and unique program that only the United States offered, or for whatever reason you want to work here, I'd be going to Europe. You don't have they, and that's the other thing. In the United States, I don't know what they do in Canada, but I know in the United States, they charge you up the ass for tuition. Out of state tuition is one thing. International students, they I can't use the word. They forcibly bedroom not fun time your asses. And if you're coming from a poor country, which you were, I don't know how you recover those costs. I have no idea how you have unless, again, very specific field in the United States. If I was a student, I would not be coming to the United States. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Where'd it go? Such as arts or English electives, even if they are unrelated to their major. In Europe, students only take courses directly related to their field of study, which means they specialize earlier. Right. So, factually, European degrees are just as good as American degrees because they don't waste their year of dicking around with shit that has nothing to do with their degrees. Right. But in America, we just loves employing our worthless social science majors. Oh, you gotta go be a TA. Here you are, you're precious. The total course load is also lower in Europe, where students typically take around 24 courses to graduate compared to 30 to 40 in North America. Another key issue is the assessment system. North American universities require students to complete assignments almost every week in every course, along with projects, midterms, and continuous assessments. This creates constant stress throughout the term with no time to catch up or take a break. In contrast, universities in Europe usually have one major assessment per month and a final exam at the end of the term. This means students in Europe experience significantly less academic stress while still recovering the same material. Right. Right. Now, imagine your situation. It's cold. People are assholes over here. I'm not saying they're great in Europe either. They're assholes over here, and you got to pay a shit ton of fucking money for tuition. You have tremendous financial stress on top of it. You're 100% right, buddy. 100% right. Covering. This means students in Europe experience significantly less academic stress while still covering the same material. This raises an important question. If European universities are accredited in the United States and Canada, and that's a big if, why would international students or even Americans choose to study in North America? Assuming that is correct, if the university in Europe is accredited in the United States and America, there is no reason to attend those colleges and universities in America. You should go to Europe. Absolutely. Uh, why would international students and even American choose to study in North America? You shouldn't, right? And that's the hell you went through. I mean, I'm glad you're providing this kind of PSA for every foreigner out there. Again, unless it's a very unique program in the United States, so you need to attend. I would be going to Europe. I would also say that American universities are losing the reputation. I don't know if you've seen like Harvard, our best university. They hired an affirmative action black woman who ended up found being guilty of plagiarism. I mean, our universities are jokes now. They're rapidly just becoming a place where we babysit adult children. So I think in time, American universities are going to lose their reputations. And you're right. Then why go to a disreputable university in America where it's a bunch of DEI woke snobs who don't learn a goddamn thing except victimhood and oppression, are more prone to sue their employer when you go to Europe for a fraction of the cost. I would even say for foreigners, unless it was an engineering program, somewhere you actually had to have hands-on, if you want to become an accountant or something else, but you needed an American degree, you want an American degree, Western Governors University, ASU Online, we have, accredited colleges in the United States that offer accredited degrees online, so you don't have to fly your ass all the way over here, pay ridiculous fees to get yourself an American degree. I would just worry 20 years from now, what would the reputation of an American degree be? However, by 20 years of work experience, it should be moot. You say, well, I went back when the college degrees actually meant something. Uh, European universities allow students to graduate faster, avoid unnecessary tuition fees, experience far less stress, and enter the job market earlier than their counterparts in the United States and Canada. Yep. I think this would be a great discussion topic, especially for young students trying to make informed decisions about higher educations. Let me know what you think and how much you charge for this request. Well, that's why I charge very little, because you are right. And it's a good message and good public service announcement that you made here that's going to help out a lot of people, whoever listens and tunes in. But yes, if you are a foreigner, so you're not an American citizen or Canadian, I'd be going to the European universities all day, or an online American college if for whatever reason you wanted to, if you could get your degree online. Uh, Foreigners, especially those who are coming from poorer countries, simply cannot afford an American degree with international tuition rates. It's just not worth it. So unless you're coming here to be a doctor or you want to go to MIT or Caltech, something very high level, you're set on getting your PhD, fine. But otherwise, yes, I would be going to Europe instead if you need a physical school. It's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. Because especially it here in the United States, it's already hard enough that young people have to go and incur these expenses. But at least we have like a first world economy and first world incomes where you can go and make the money to pay it back. I cannot imagine being a foreign student coming over here paying tuition rates going to set you back for a 4-year degree around $100,000 US. And then you go back to your home country and you don't make anywhere near that amount to pay it back. I would absolutely not come to the United States. No. And I don't, and I'm sure outside of academic reasons, I know we're talking about college and education. Dude, you especially for you boys, I presume you young men would like to go and meet women. The women here are not marriage minded. They're not friendly. They're not thin. They're not attractive. Look at obesity rates. And anyone who complains about shut the fuck up, it's a fact. The women in the United States are some of the heaviest women in the country, the world. There are other countries that have higher rates of obesity. So I'm a guy, I'm not dumb. I know how men work. Yeah, fine. Education, that's the main reason going. But a very close second, and it may weigh your decision, is, well, I'd like to meet some girls. I'm young and I like to meet some intelligent women. Don't come to American universities. Don't come to American colleges. They're feminists. They're typically overweight. They got ridiculous hair color. They mutilate their body and their face with tattoos and piercings. There's you. It isn't an 80s movie anymore here. I mean, And all the 80s movies, even the 90s movies. Oh, look at all the fun blondes and big boob. Yeah, that was a one point in time. Now, it is not. And I'd almost say the same thing about European university. If you're going for the women, well, prepare to be let down. I think just like American men focusing on college and universities, we need to focus on our education. That should pretty much be the main thing. And I would not factor women at all into any of your assessment. I mean, ask all the poor Indian guys who came over here, majoring in computer science, working hard. I appreciate them going into STEM. And they're like, where are the American girls with the great boobies? There are none here. I have been lied to. I've been mispropagandized by the American movies from the 1980s. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, well, no, that ended 30 years ago. I do. I got clients, foreigners, Indian and not. But I'm like, yeah, go back to your home country. That's where you're going to find them. You're going to have to find a nice, Vietnamese girl or Indian girl or something. They're not here. They're not here. All right. That's all I got. Let's go to the super chats real quick. Oh, Emmanuel Obang, payment for your favorite Negro. What? You bastard. Yo. Oh, you made me say it. Look at you. Look at you. Hey, Emmanuel, can you email me? How old are you? I presume that's you and your brother. What year were you born? I'm trying to peg that the date of that. You slide dog. Plop plop 200 yen. Bachelor's tech and computer science, master's tech and AI, gruesome but almost done, having 144, 137, 139 queendom. Oh yeah, you're up there. Another test over the last 5 years. I just need to get rid of my debts and leave the city. Yeah, you need a job, man. Once you get that master's, you got enough education. Get a job. And yes, you are graduating into a tech recession. That's all right. Keep working, find a job. Although, wait a minute. If you're paying in yen, are you in Japan? Plop, plop, 100 yen. De-inshitification funds. Thank you. Today's donations goes to a muffler. Man, do I buy sexy shit with all these super chats. All right. That's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.